I feel like maybe so there is something unique about this modality, which is this way to open to everything, embrace everything, but not holding on to anything. Because that holding on like actually prevents us from really sensing, experiencing every cell that we have, that sensations, the energy that's flowing is alive, is the vital energies.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Man Yee. How are you, Man Yee?
I'm good, thank you, Luca. And you?
Very good, very good. So Man Yee is a Tantric healing body worker. So very interesting. First of all, I'd like to ask you, what is your story in life up until now?
Well, I feel like I've lived many lifetimes. Like my first life, I thought I was in Hong Kong. Grew up like traditional, cosmopolitan, eat Midwest, stuff like that. But also like I grew up in a Taoist school. So it's something like I felt like it's already in me, my first life. Before my corporate life until university, it was very much like, the traditional one. And then the corporate world really like got me into a space where like, no, this is not it. This is not it. I don't know what. So I projected myself outside, and I spent about 10 years in Europe and studying and working, and that was a phase I would call more like in the international relations part. I was working as consultant in some international organizations, working on programs against child labor, child trafficking, women trafficking, stuff like that, and researchers and various stuff. But then something propelled me, like, it's not this one. I want something more real. And then I projected myself into like another space completely, and for about like 6, 7, 8 years, I was in like crazy countries affected by armed conflicts, working as a humanitarian worker.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was before I come into another point where I felt like, no, this is not it. It was like every lifetime, I felt like, yes, it was it when I went into it. And I felt fully, and I felt, okay, I think this is not it. Or it was it up till that point of time. And then I felt something is transforming, changing. I need something else. I need to grow. I need to expand. I need to evolve. And then at that point, I think I chose to work on myself. I think to some extent it's because of burnout, the amount of stress. You have a few hundred people under your responsibility as staff, and you have thousands of populations, their lives, at risk. Also, kind of, not totally under my responsibility, but in my organizations, in their point of view, it's my responsibility. And in my heart, it's my responsibility. So I think a lot of things have put me in a place where I realized, no, now I need to drop all of this and come back to myself. I need to heal myself. Like a lot of stuff was like happening. I cannot just focus on the outside. It's time for me to focus on myself. So boom, I got into another space, another lifetime, which is like the beginning of this lifetime, which is healing. And most of all, I would say, sounding a little bit selfish, healing myself. And then I also then feel called to share what I have experienced, what I have understood. So right now I'm, as we were saying, most easily understood is I'm a Tantric healing body worker.
Sounds very interesting. I mean, it seems like you always wanted to, particularly when you started working in difficult countries.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the intensity of the place? I mean, because it's a certain energy that wouldn't attract most people. Whereas you had this vocation to go there and just trying to help people there, right?
Yes. The good word that you just mentioned, or good in a sense, I really resonate with the word as for a long period of my life, I really is after intensity. I like intensity. I feel at home when it is intense, and I feel the value. I feel, life with the intensity. I think that was what I needed to go through, and having said that, it doesn't mean that it is right or wrong. It's just something that was in my karma, someone would say. Something is in my field that brought me to those situations, looking for meaning, looking for surface in those places. And to some extent, it's also how I entered into Tantra.
In what sense?
The intensity.
For sure.
Yeah. To some extent, it's also that, of course, when I was there, I just, I resonate with it, but I didn't really have this clarity as I have now, what it means to me. Like, I need to go through that in order to understand what is lightness. It's like, perhaps some people would say you need to understand, you have to embrace your dark side, and then it will dissipate. So dark and light is not, it's like opposite, but they're not. They're like one part of the whole, kind of. Yeah.
So I'm interested a little bit more to understand, how was your growing up environment? You're from Hong Kong originally.
Very beginning, I'm really traditional. Like in this, all the conditioning, all the programming, like mental programming that you received from the culture, from the schooling, from your families, yeah. I was really like more about like not really aware of like this supporting, helping other people, to be very honest. And I think it came to my understanding was more like I want to be useful. I want to be of value.
Yes.
Then helping other people can mean value for myself, which we understand now. Like from my understanding, this is also something that I need to let go of, and then I let go of, and I'm continuing to try to like be coming to this space where it's like everything is fine. I help when I can, and when I cannot, it's because it's not right now, or it's not me, or it's not whatever. You know, it's like trying to be fine when I can help, and know when I cannot. Sometimes it's very hard when you see something and then you cannot do anything. It's very hard. Like
Yeah, I hear you for sure. I mean, if you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, you have love and belonging and esteem. And these are two major problems that we all have, past sort of the basic survival needs. You mentioned the word karma, and it seems from what you say that your philosophical view of the world has been developing so much, right? So you're at a stage now where you say, you know, I accept what comes, good, bad, light, dark, I do my healing, and I try to be self-contained and happy and grounded as I am.
Yeah, I've changed so much, transformed so much, and expanded so much. And I can only say that I feel it would be very, how would I say? I still fully believe that it's unlimited, that I still fully believe that I can be even more accepting, I can be. But I don't need to know, and I maybe not, but it's just like, it's a way of an openness. You know, I've expanded so much. Oh, wow. Thinking about 10 years ago, I have never thought about that I would be like this. Maybe 10 years from now, who knows? Maybe like this is already good, but maybe we'll be completely different. So let's be open and just accept and embrace everything.
Okay, I would like to talk about your body work now.
Okay.
So you said it's Tantric healing body work. What does it actually mean?
Let's talk about Tantric, right? First of all, I think we all know about a little bit Tantra on this island. It's a lot about presence, definitely. being present in the body. With awareness being present in the body. And this body is like including our everything. So it's tantric, it's also holistic in a sense. It's a really fully present in knowing what you are thinking about. And when you have some thoughts, how it is happening in your body, how you feel. So that comes to the physical now. Like, so it's like, it's so intertwined. You're aware of what's going on in your head, in your emotions, and in your body, and they're all happening at the same time. So in that sense, for me, it's tantric. And to be able to connect to this within yourself, I think is the prerequisite for us to be able to connect to another person, to other people, to the environment. To the extent that you can do this, you can open to other people. So in that sense, it's tantric. And already we mentioned body, right? Like in the body. For me, the body is really the holy grail. Mm-hmm. It's so tangible. We don't fly away with we don't simply fly away. I mean, we need to have this, like we embrace that as well, like that we have the astral experience, like all of this, but like we do not forget about the body. It's really linking it up, and in that sense, and it feels like it's also is an embodiment. If I use the term that a lot of people can resonate with, sure. Like somatic, it's like all coming into the body and exploring through the body, and accepting the body, listening to the body, responding to the body. And that including sexuality. Because often, like, when I use all of these terminologies, right, often in other modalities, fully respect that, like, also they have different, there are different modalities, different ways. So often sexuality is a taboo, is not included, or is like sidelined for whatever reasons, for good reasons, bad reasons, no judgment. I feel like maybe so there is something unique about this modality, which is this way to open to everything, embrace everything, but not holding on to anything. Because I found like a lot as well when, let's give an example, like the holding on is like, oh, I want to achieve this. My end goal is multi-orgasmic. My end goal is like lasting as long as I can, for men. Mm-hmm. Or like, it's often, actually perhaps it's also the masculinity, like the energy, like is that the doing energy? It's really good to have that one as well. At the same time, when we are like holding on to some idea, like really attached to that, then it became something that is limiting in the end, because that holding on like actually prevents us from really sensing, experiencing every cell that we have, that sensations, the energy that's flowing is alive, is the vital energies. When we are like too attached to an idea, that it can be limiting.
Yeah,
so,
because the goal is in the future, right? So
right.
I want to achieve, I want to have multi-orgasms, or I want to stay for a very long time with it. So I don't focus about what's happening right now. It's more of the idea of, can I stay 10, 20, 30 minutes?
Yes. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So you're able to sort of bring people into the present again, into the present moment, what's happening right now in the thought, in the mind, but also in the body and emotions, right?
Yeah, through the touch.
Through the touch.
Through the touch. And through the touch is really, I feel, is a very powerful thing. I think it's also something, when there is a touch, there's like a multiplications of the bioenergetic field, the magnetic energy. I don't know, like I'm not like so scientific into this, but I could feel it happening.
Sure.
But also the most simplistic way to say it is like, you focalize, you don't fly away. Yeah, here, come back here. Yeah, come back here. So the most simple way is also a focalizer, like a laser point of like where we are. and how does it feel? But yeah, so it's just the most simple point, because sometimes like it happens everywhere. Like I'm touching here, but like my toe has some response, you know. Well, okay, yeah, it's good. It's good. Like so, it's really present in your whole body. That's great. You know, that's the information, the signals that's like speaking, and we listen to it.
Okay. So you take people through this body work journey where you learn about their challenges and specific problems, but then you're very intuitive, as you said.
Yeah.
You connect through the touch, and I mean, what do you feel? Can you really feel the individual through this body work experience? Can you really go to the places where it's needed?
Yeah.
And I mean, is the body like a map that also informs you on like different traumas or different specific characteristics of the individual?
It's very good. Like you're saying the word map. Like there are a lot of like already very known modalities of like philosophies talking about, for example, the organs is real. There are organs holding emotions, and I've seen in my experience that let's say we all know like about liver, it's about rage and anger, it's about kidneys, about fear, pancreas, about you know, spleen, about anxiety. It really happens, like, because I got the feedback from the clients that like, well, wow, that was something happening. I have that emotion, and that was like afterwards. I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, I felt something was happening there. Like sometimes I got like jerks, and sometimes I really feel like it's like very micro vibrations that's different from other parts of the body. So this is very real. So like it's like those maps are real, and also the pelvic area. A lot of people talk about pelvic area. It's also like a very dense place, you know, according to chakra system, and then like this is pelvis. It's a lot about security, about like the root chakra, about the sexuality, about creative energy. So it's a second chakra, and this is also like very, very real, like with the touch and then with the response of the persons. It's really, you feel like this is related. And also we're talking about the chakra system, so the spine is like, is epic, like really, it's a really important place. Like, or like in the Chinese medicine, like the meridian, the heart meridian going out to the hands, it's really like, you see the response when you touch the chest, and the hand is moving and like doing stuff like that, like, and then people like who had this response, they felt lighter after the energy left the body, or when you touch this one, it's like crying, it's like this grief. It's also love here, but then when like there's like grief, there's mixed there, and then we just need to sift through it, we need to cleanse it. And so these maps are like really real. So and probably a lot of wisdoms, traditional wisdom systems, like they really are like really good reference. And I could read it, but it's one thing. But when I really experience it in myself, and then when I really see it in my clients, that's like I feel that's like something real.
So it's very interesting because of course you talked about so the tantric path a little bit, so more the Indian tradition, but also you talked about the meridians and the Chinese tradition. So it seems like both of them are quite present in your practice. I mean, what is the main sort of like teaching that you learned over the years? I mean, is there any specific teachers that you followed, or is it something that you developed yourself organically by learning different aspects of healing?
Both, actually. I've studied Thai massage since many years, and then, so that's like, I think the first time that I got into like touching other people, you know, and sensing their body. But then then that's traditional ones, and then also other modalities of massages like dynamic massages, and so that's one thing. But it's more like really at the physical realm, and then the tantric. There is a tantric educator like training that I have done. I think that was like more like, I could call it like a key to bring me into this tantric healing body work that I learned about to also deal with or like understand sexuality, sexual energies, the specificities in the bodies, in the emotional body, like all of this. So that's one and second thing. But then also I feel like then as I do, the more I do, then I more realize that all my background, you know, yoga is understanding the body, is in dynamic movement, the energy is flowing, meditation about the awareness, the presence, and just bring it even deeper into the body, into everything, into your thought forms, but also into your sensations, into even when you're in action, you know, the meditative aspect of being still, but when you're in movement, kind of this. So this also come into me. It's just fusion in me that I didn't plan it, but it happened. And then also I would have to like mention, like that was also one modality. It's a little bit osteopathy,
osteopathy.
Yeah, there's this training that it really kind of feels to me now. When I took the training, it wasn't so obvious, but it comes out in my practice as a practitioner, I realized that the dynamic aspect of listening and responding to a situation in a client is really, yeah, I would say now is like almost as important as my tantric training.
Sounds very good. I don't know if in Hong Kong you were sort of exposed to the traditional Chinese medicine as a growing up person, or not so much?
This is that you cannot avoid. This is something that you cannot avoid, talking about the properties of the food, like that the phenomena that's happening in your body, how it shows in the color of your eyes, your tongue, your skin, like your urine, your everything. Like it's just like, yeah, I don't even like pay so much attention. But then only after I left Hong Kong, then I realized, oh, I know this, you know. Oh yeah, mom did that. Like, oh yeah. So it's a more like a realization afterwards that it's like I've not studied it, but it's like it's in my life, kind of like, yeah.
That's fascinating. I really like to see like senior teachers like yourself, or practitioners like yourself that reach a level in life where you have so much experience, both of direct living and of studying and learning, that then you can really create your own modality in a way or another that encompasses all you learned and all you developed, and then you apply to clients. And ultimately, I think practice makes better, isn't it? So
definitely.
More you do, more you give, more you learn, more you develop. So in 20 years' time, going back to in 10 years' time, going back to the conversation we had just earlier, you might be even more of a bodywork master, or you might just change your life completely.
Totally. Or less, you know, in the Taoist way is like, you know, the term Wu Wei.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not doing nothing, but it's like not like it's effortless.
Letting
like
go
kind of let it flow, effortless, no forcing, and follow it develops. Like, but also seize the moment, you know, seize like, wow, when it's here, like do it. Like the energy is here, like do it, flow, like being invited to an interview by Luca.
Why not? That's fun. For me, it's all about fun at the moment in my life. Okay, and talking about your sort of not long-term future, but the immediate future, are you planning to stay in Koh Phangan on and off? I mean, why do you like Koh Phangan?
That's also already like, I think Koh Phangan like wants me to stay. The first time I came here was 11, almost 12 years ago. I planned to be here for 1 week, and I stuck here for already 2-3 weeks because of a storm, whatever. But at that time, I had a full-time job. Like I had to go back to Afghanistan. So okay, I go, bye-bye. And then I left all of this, and then fast forward many years later, then I was just regularly visiting. I like contact improvisation, I come to dance, I came to learn some modalities of body work, I like the nature, like the people really warm and open, and COVID came. And so I'm stuck again, and I'm here. Stuck in a very good sense. So it completely changed my life again. And then and during these 2-3 years, like since COVID, that I'm here, like of course enjoying like everything that I like, and then having the opportunity also to grow, to expand, and to learn, go deeper, working on myself more, and then to serve others, and the nature, and really nice people, all of this. I don't have clear plans. I feel also not excluded that I might flow to another dimension, another space, but right now no plans, so I'm here.
Okay, and it's lovely to have you here indeed.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for this little chat.
Thank
I
you.
enjoy getting to know you a little bit more.
Thank you, Luca.